Okay, we spend a ton of time in our culture dreaming about making millions, right? We literally idolize the tech billionaires, the overnight success stories, the lottery winners. But what if the absolute most important number in your entire financial journey is actually way, way smaller? Today in this explainer, we're unpacking something called the $10,000 mindset shift. It's a concept that completely reframes how we look at our very first major financial milestone. We're going to explore the profound emotional and psychological journey of saving and how hitting one extremely specific, highly achievable threshold just fundamentally changes your mindset forever. Because, it's not just about the money sitting in a bank account gathering interest. It is about a complete transformation in how you navigate the world. It's the shift from playing defense to playing offense in your own life. So let's look at why this specific number holds so much psychological weight and how it can unlock a level of freedom you probably didn't realize was so close at hand.
Okay, let's dive right into this. $10,000. Let's strip away all that intimidation that usually comes with personal finance. So often when we talk about money, the conversation instantly jumps to these massive retirement portfolios or paying off a 30-year mortgage in half the time. And honestly, it gets overwhelming fast. But this isn't about becoming a billionaire or hitting some impossible sky-high benchmark that feels like it's decades away. $10,000 is a very real, very tangible, and entirely life-altering target that you can literally set your sights on right now. It's a milestone that is completely within reach for a focused learner, and it acts as the bedrock foundation for every single thing else you're going to build. By breaking down the monumental task of getting good with money into this singular focused goal, you give your brain a specific finish line to cross.
So I have to ask you directly, what if this number changed your life? And I don't mean that it gives you enough cash to buy a luxury car or quit your job tomorrow or go retire to a private island. I mean, what if it fundamentally changes you? Because the reality is, the exact moment you accumulate this specific amount, something in your brain just clicks. You shift from a constant, exhausting state of survival into a state of deep security. It's exactly like the psychological difference between treading water out in the open ocean and finally feeling the sand beneath your feet. It's a pretty provocative thought, isn't it? The idea that just this one five-figure sum could be the absolute catalyst for a total life transformation. It's really not about the purchasing power of the money itself. It's about the incredible psychological power of having it sitting right there, guarding your life against the unknown.
And this brilliantly illustrates the gap between perception and reality. What most people think when they hear about saving $10,000 is that it's just another number on a spreadsheet. Or they mistakenly believe it's a signal that you're suddenly rich, like some sort of status symbol. But the reality is just far more powerful and grounding. The reality is that this milestone represents a permanent mindset shift. It is the exact moment you transition from being at the absolute mercy of your finances to actually being the one who dictates the terms. You control your money rather than it controlling you. When you no longer have to panic about making rent because of a single missed paycheck, your entire worldview alters. You begin to make choices based on what you actually want rather than what you are desperately forced to do just to survive. That is the true distinction here.
So the crucial point is how we define this milestone. The $10,000 mark isn't defined by immense wealth or luxury at all. It is defined as undeniable proof. When your savings progress chart goes up and finally hits that mark, it is tangible evidence of your own capability. When you have the safety net glowing right there in your account, you are holding the reins. You've basically proven to yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt that you possess the discipline, the focus, and the resilience to build a secure fortress around your financial well-being. It's a psychological trophy just as much as a financial one. A lot of people think they're naturally bad with money simply because they haven't seen a large balance stay consistent. This milestone completely shatters that self-limiting belief. It proves you are entirely capable of acting as your own financial guardian.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the immediate, practical relief you feel. We are talking about ending a toxic cycle. Just imagine the dark storm clouds of constant financial worry totally dissipating, turning into clear skies. When you have 10 grand sitting safely in an emergency fund, your entire nervous system downregulates. Unexpected expenses suddenly lose their sting. A broken down car, a sudden home repair, or an unexpected medical bill, they just aren't disasters anymore. They are just inconveniences. You sleep peacefully because that low-level hum of anxiety is finally gone. You make smarter, long-term decisions because you aren't constantly operating out of a sheer panic response. And most importantly, you finally break free and stop living paycheck to paycheck. You buy yourself a massive buffer between you and the harsh realities of the world, allowing you to breathe deeply for what might honestly be the very first time in your adult life.
Let's actually break that contrast down a bit more. Think about your unexpected expenses. Before you hit this goal, a broken refrigerator or a flat tire feels like a total disaster that derails your entire month and throws your budget into absolute chaos. After, it's completely manageable. It's just a bump in the road. Now think about your sleep. Before, you might literally lie awake at night staring at the ceiling, feeling anxious about how you're going to make ends meet or what might happen if you get sick. After, you experience peaceful rest, knowing your safe is full and you're protected. And finally, consider your daily decisions. Before, you're constantly reactive, right? Making short-sighted choices just to survive the week. After, your decisions become smarter, more strategic, and proactive. This specific threshold absolutely neutralizes the anxiety of daily life and transforms chaos into calculated strategy.
Let's move on and see how this builds into actionable empowerment. You start today. That is the core message here. Because this monumental shift in how you experience the world doesn't just happen by accident, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. It happens by deciding that you want that peace of mind way more than you want fleeting, short-term purchases. It begins with the very first dollar you put into that figurative piggy bank, with this specific, life-changing intention in mind. The upward climb starts the absolute second you decide to take control. Every single time you transfer $20, $50, or $100 into that account, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You are building the muscle of financial independence, and that momentum compounds so much faster than you might think.
There is a quote from the source material that perfectly captures everything we've unpacked so far. It says, "Your first $10,000 won't make you wealthy, but it will make you financially stronger than most people." That right there is the absolute heart of the mindset shift. This goal isn't about reaching extreme wealth, buying a mansion, or pointing toward early retirement on a yacht. It is about unmatched financial resilience. It's about building a foundation so incredibly strong that the normal, everyday storms of life simply cannot knock you down. You are standing on solid ground. Look, most people are walking on a tightrope without a net, one single misstep away from a total financial crisis. By reaching this specific number, you build your own net. You insulate yourself from the chaos, and in doing so, you gain a quiet, unwavering confidence that permeates literally every other aspect of your life.
Which brings us to our final, defining thought for this explainer. Will your future self thank you? I really want you to visualize the person you'll be a year, or maybe 5 years from now. Think about the peace they could have. By taking control of your money today, by aiming for this $10,000 milestone, you are handing that future version of yourself the greatest gift possible: absolute freedom from financial panic. You are giving yourself the gift of a brighter, more secure future, where you make choices out of opportunity rather than desperation. Look at your habits today. Take that very first step. Will you start building your safety net?